Hello, RoahmMythril here once again, and it's time for the Fan Art Showcase finale. Yes, I'm afraid this is going to be the last one. At the end of the videos I'll explain why, hopefully everyone can understand why I'm doing this, but for now, we're going out with a bang. Every piece of fan art that I've received but haven't yet been able to display. So let's get right to it. LTFC 1992 sent in several pieces, starting with this lovely shiny supercar. Definitely if I could get a new car for myself, that would be the color, a nice deep rich green. He also sent these in. Now, while granted I know next to nothing about sports, apparently these are soccer uniforms for various teams. Ipswich Town, Arsenal, Hitchin Town, Luton Town, Stuttgart, and Crystal Palace. He also sent in an update to his Miami Vice Mega Man poster by adding Proto Man to the mix, though shades in Miami seem to call something else to mind. Right, moving on. Finally, he sent in a few more Mega Man variants, basing my numbers of subscribers upon certain years, and thus choosing different events for them, such as Victorian times, the 2 World Wars, Rock and Roll, Beatles, and Disco era. Love that fro. KevRob948 decided to send in a bit of a baseball joke here. It seems base is loaded. So just what are they putting in those E-tanks anyway? KevRob948 also sent this in, answering my desire for an army of Mets to go after trolls. Fortunately, I haven't had that bad of a trolling problem, but if I do, at least now I have a way to deal with it. He also sent this in, with the simple title, "You Should Have Expected This." I actually did kinda have a feeling someone was going to make a Captain Planet Man joke eventually. In fact, I think I'm more surprised it was only referenced twice, this other rendition coming in from Watch. In fact, in the time it took me to get all this together, Watch actually sent in quite a few pieces, including a rather cute rendition of Fireman as drawn by Iceman, and a bit of evidence that Roll apparently likes the tough guys. It also seems just everyone is thinking with portals. I've actually been rather interested in this game lately. I need to look into that free offer. Watch also happened to notice a comment on my channel detailing my reaction to waking up in Flandre's basement. Yeah, I really didn't mean to upset her, but... I mean, check out her advertisement for flan. Now with more sugar and less blood? Less blood? That indicates that particular ingredient hasn't quite been eliminated yet. Yeah. Due to a comment on my channel, Watch decided to get Top Man all nice and dressed up proper with a top hat and monocle. The weird thing? This somehow kinda works for him. He also sent in a series of pictures of various worlds from the Smash Bros. Games, done like the style of Kingdom Hearts worlds. It's an interesting idea, and I like some of the design aspects, such as using sprites to represent the Poke Floats. By now he's done most of the worlds, so it's quite a nice collection, really. In fact, right off, the only ones I can think of that he hasn't done yet are Hyrule and Earthbound, I think. He also sent in these rather cool stylistic Mega Man wallpapers, based on the same kind of imagery as the early Mega Man 10 promos. It's a very nice design, I quite like it. These were the only ones done by the time I was recording this, but he has said he does plan to do the other games in the series, so that'll be very cool. He even surprised me with a couple of these based on Mega Mari, even going so far as to make a separate one for Marissa and for Alice. Very nice touch. Finally, he sent in a few animations, including some well-deserved nuclear revenge against Quickman, a memorial to the courageous Metfire that selflessly defended his fellow viruses in a recent Battle Network video, and Starman getting a little bit crazy with the Star Crash. I think we can all be glad that he can't really do this. Tanner Muldoon sent in these custom 8-bit sprites of Mr. Higsby and Numberman, and even gave Higsby his own game. It looks like he has a tough time ahead of him no matter what, but as Higsby says, collecting rare chips isn't easy. Huh! He also sent in this instance of Roll making a bit of a fashion statement. Well, hey, Otto liked that helmet on Mega Man. When I made the comment about Mega Bunnies on ice, it did register in the back of my head that it kinda sounded like a stage event. Well, Shag took it one step further and actually made a poster for it. As troublesome as they are, I would still go see Mega Bunnies on ice. They're just so freaking cute! And then Shag sent this in. Evidently a custom sprite for an RPG that he's working on. I think this got a good solid 5 minutes worth of laughter out of me. Pivot Paralyzer also decided to give me a video game alter ego, turning me into one of the dragons from Bubble Bobble. I always did love that game. Mega Beta Man decided to send in a few more enemy-based weapons. So here we have the Squirt Spreader, the Holder Frisbee, the Spine Grinder, and the Shield Dash. Those sound rather promising. He also seems to have noticed that there is a rather large number of pieces of fan art out there involving my nightmare bosses. The thing is, like Joe and Son pointed out here, I think the nightmare bosses are just kind of iconic as far as my videos go. Though, one has to wonder how Quickman missed out being in this image. Zero Janitor, on the other hand, gave me a different option. You know, sometimes it's nice to just relax and play easy mode. Dalo2953 was at least nice enough to make sure that I had some backup while dealing with all these nightmare bosses running around. And then took that support right away. Yeah, that's not a good situation at all. There also seems to be a bit of a dire warning from Airman. Oh, come on, stop being so jealous. I'll display you during the Navi demos. Keep your cyber pants on. Despite all that, though, Dalo2953 did supply a nice shiny new building where robots, viruses, and dragons can live together in harmony. Wonderful. Colo23 sent in a few images, including the rather disturbing thought of grow your own Burner Man seeds, a nightmarishly gigantic Quickman, and also the belief that Quickman is more annoying than moles. I think we're all in agreement there. Ace1H also sent in a few images, including this one of Toadman failing. Failing at what exactly, I'm not quite certain, but then, it is Toadman, so failing is not exactly outside of his job description, poor guy. He also sent in the aptly named Chaos Goomba. I recognize most of what went into this, except for those blue thorny bits at the bottom. Anyone know exactly where those came from? He also unearthed the true ancient weapon. Yes, Game Boy Brightman is quite a randomized cheater, and one of the main deterrents from me perfect running the rest of the Game Boy games. These rather stylish pieces came in from Bailey Cowell-Fong, a hyper-looking clown man, a childish crash man, and a mysterious magic man, even with a few cameos in his cards. I quite like the style of these, very nice. Hoops and Yo-Yo Fan 26 couldn't resist poking fun at my verbal typo of deeping the undernet. He also couldn't resist making fun of Mega Man's pronunciation of Flame Sword. Apparently a sward is another term for a lawn, so if he's burning the yard, then it makes sense. Hacklord777 decided that Burner Man might look a little friendlier, a little less psychotic without all his fuel tanks. He also seems to think the Star Droids should get rematches as well, and, you know, I really wouldn't mind seeing that. This rather stylish image of Crashman came in from Lexicon08. As did this group shot of some of my nightmare bosses. I quite like the playful style of this, very cool. Due to a certain episode of the Battle Network anime, Flintlock was inspired to give a different meaning to refreshing pause, and, well, that's just adorable. And speaking of refreshing pause, I think we've pretty much hit the time limit for part 1, so back in a few moments with part 2. Oh, and by the way, that free Portal download? Well, yeah, I got the game downloaded, but unfortunately it didn't work on my system. Well, bugger. Anyway, back in a few moments.